Now we're going to head to El Salvador, where back in February, the president announced he was moving thousands of high-ranking gang members to the country's new so-called mega jail.
Welcome to Life Inside the World's Toughest Jail, where we get into the harsh reality of mass incarceration. Packed cells, extreme control, and a brutal justice system. El Salvador's mega prison exposed. Life inside the world's toughest jail. In the heart of Central America lies a nation that has undergone a dramatic transformation. Once plagued by rampant gang violence, El Salvador now boasts some of the lowest crime rates in the Western Hemisphere. At the center of this transformation is President Nayib Bukele and his controversial approach to law and order. This documentary delves into the construction of the Terrorism Confinement Center, commonly known as the Mega Prison, and examines the profound impact of Bukele's policies on El Salvador's society, human rights, and international relations. In the aftermath of El Salvador's brutal civil war, 1980 to 1992, the nation grappled with deep-seated economic hardship and social fragmentation. The war's end left a power vacuum and a generation scarred by violence. During the conflict, many Salvadorans fled to the United States, particularly Los Angeles, seeking refuge. There, young Salvadorans formed gangs like MS-13 and Barrio 18, initially for protection. Following the war, the U.S. deported many of these gang members back to El Salvador, where the weakened state infrastructure struggled to contain their influence. By the early 2010s, these gangs had entrenched themselves deeply into Salvadoran society, engaging in extortion, kidnapping, and murder. This surge in violence escalated the country's homicide rates, leading to its grim reputation as the murder capital of the world. In 2019, Nayib Bukele, a dynamic and youthful politician, ascended to the presidency of El Salvador with a resolute commitment to eradicate the nation's entrenched gang violence. Upon taking office, Bukele unveiled the Territorial Control Plan, a comprehensive strategy aimed at reclaiming territories dominated by gangs and restoring public safety. This plan intensified military and police operations in municipalities heavily influenced by gangs, enforced stringent prison lockdowns, and enhanced the capabilities of security forces through advanced equipment and technology. These initiatives contributed to a significant reduction in the country's homicide rate, which by 2021 had plummeted to its lowest point since the conclusion of the Civil War in 1992, recording 18 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. Despite facing allegations from the United States government in December 2021 of clandestine negotiations with gang leaders, a claim Bukele vehemently denied, his administration maintained its hardline stance. In March 2022, following a surge in gang-related homicides that claimed 87 lives in a single weekend, Bukele declared a state of emergency, suspending certain constitutional rights to facilitate the mass arrest of suspected gang members. This aggressive crackdown resulted in the detention of over 80,000 individuals, propelling El Salvador to the highest incarceration rate globally, with approximately 1,659 prisoners per 100,000 residents. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. In early 2023, the Salvadoran government unveiled the Terrorism Confinement Center, CECOT, to address the influx of detainees from its aggressive anti-gang initiatives. Situated in Tecoluca, approximately 70 kilometers east of San Salvador, this facility spans 57 acres, making it one of the largest prisons globally. Designed to house up to 40,000 inmates, CECOT comprises 8 pavilions, each fortified with advanced security measures, including 19 watchtowers and a 15,000-volt electric fence. The prison's infrastructure reflects a stringent approach to incarceration, with cells accommodating 65 to 70 prisoners each, limited amenities, and no provisions for rehabilitation programs. This development underscores the government's commitment to eradicating gang influence, albeit amidst ongoing debates over human rights and the efficacy of such punitive measures. Within the walls of the Terrorism Confinement Center, CECOT, life is marked by stringent conditions. Each cell is designed to accommodate approximately 80 inmates, furnished solely with tiered metal bunks devoid of mattresses or bedding. Inmates are confined to their cells for 23 hours daily, with only 1 hour allocated for exercise. The facility enforces 24-hour illumination, and prisoners are required to eat with their hands, as utensils are prohibited to prevent potential weaponization. Critics contend that such harsh and overcrowded conditions may intensify tensions among inmates, potentially leading to further human rights violations. The Bukele administration credits its stringent anti-gang measures for a significant decline in crime rates. In 2015, El Salvador's homicide rate peaked at 109.3 per 100,000 inhabitants. By 2024, this figure had dramatically decreased to 1.9 per 100,000, representing a 98% reduction over 9 years. This transformation has been lauded by some as a model for effective crime reduction. However, critics argue that the methods employed, including mass incarcerations and suspension of certain constitutional rights, raise concerns about human rights and the potential for authoritarian governance. While the Bukele administration's crackdown on gangs has led to a notable reduction in crime rates, it has also sparked significant human rights concerns. Numerous organizations, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, have documented allegations of widespread abuses under the state of emergency, declared in March 2022. Reports highlight instances of arbitrary arrests, enforced disappearances, and torture. The suspension of due process rights has raised alarms about the erosion of civil liberties and the potential for innocent individuals to be wrongfully detained. Critics argue that the government's approach undermines the rule of law and may lead to long-term societal repercussions. The international community continues to monitor the situation closely, urging the Salvadoran government to uphold human rights standards while addressing security challenges. In early 2025, El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele proposed an unprecedented agreement to house deported criminals from the United States, including American citizens, in Salvadoran prisons. This proposal was discussed during a meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who described it as the most unprecedented, extraordinary migratory agreement anywhere in the world. Under this arrangement, El Salvador would incarcerate these individuals in facilities like the Terrorism Confinement Center, CECOT, a maximum security prison designed to hold up to 40,000 inmates. While the Bukele administration views this as a means to strengthen bilateral cooperation and generate revenue through incarceration fees, critics express concerns about the legal and ethical implications of outsourcing incarceration and the potential human rights ramifications for detainees. Within El Salvador, President Nayib Bukele's stringent anti-gang policies have garnered overwhelming public support. Many citizens, weary from decades of pervasive violence, view these measures as essential for restoring peace and security. Opinion polls consistently reflect this sentiment. For instance, a Sid Gallup survey conducted in September 2024 indicated that 83% of Salvadorans supported the government's crackdown on gangs. However, this robust endorsement coexists with growing concerns about the erosion of democratic institutions. Critics argue that the concentration of power in the executive branch, exemplified by the replacement of Supreme Court judges with Bukele's allies in May 2021, undermines the system of checks and balances fundamental to a functioning democracy. Additionally, the prolonged state of emergency, which has been extended multiple times since its inception, suspends certain constitutional rights and raises alarms about potential human rights violations. While the administration emphasizes the necessity of these measures for national security, opponents caution that such actions may set a precedent for authoritarian governance over human rights. As the country stands at this crossroads, the world watches closely, drawing lessons about the delicate balance between security and freedom. If you found this exploration insightful and wish to delve deeper into the intricate dynamics of global underworlds, consider subscribing to our channel, Underworld Icons. By subscribing, you'll stay updated with our latest documentaries and analyses, gaining a comprehensive understanding of the forces shaping societies worldwide. Don't forget to like this video and share it with others who are keen on uncovering the hidden narratives that influence our world. Click the video above for more true crime videos.